and welcome people of YouTube or BookTube. If you're really into book reviews and reading, this is one of those kind of channels where I will be talking about books. My name is Lexi. I am your host, and we will be going over one of my reading challenge books. Welcome to my book nook. So this is Lexi's book nook. If you're listening on Spotify, if you're listening on Patreon or YouTube, this is a charged fee of $3 per month, but you get to see my little book nook, all the books that I'm reading. You can see the cover art, so you can see what I'm reading. That way you have a face to the name, Lexi, or pictures to the book, or get an inspiration for your own book nook. So I'm going to be going over one of the books I read just recently. It's a very quick book, but I got it from a reading challenge. The ultimate reading challenge, in fact, and it was a gift from my younger sister for Christmas. So this is what it looks like. She bought it on either Instagram or TikTok, so I'm not really sure which one. But so it kind of looks like an advent calendar, if you know what that looks like. But inside, you're going to see all my sticky notes. But it has all these different criteria for different reading challenges, what to do, whether it's reading something or doing something like writing a letter. I had a book talk on that, so check out RD_Lexi on TikTok, and you can find out that video. But that one was to write a letter to someone who has influenced your reading life. This could be a parent, teacher, author, bookstore owner, or friend. It's okay to make it anonymous. So I do have a TikTok out there. Go and find that and see who I wrote a letter to. I have not sent it to this person yet. She is currently, well, she should be back in the States now, but that's just one of the examples. One of them is also to go to an author event, and I have tickets to see Cassandra Clare, the author of the Shadowhunter series. So it's to attend an author event in person or virtually. Unfortunately, mine is virtually. I thought it was in person, so I'm really excited. I'm still very excited. But that's just one of those examples where you don't have to read, but it is reading related or book related, and the rest are like reading mostly. So the one that I am going to go over is read a graphic novel, and I chose manga because I miss reading it, and it's usually a very quick and easy read. I can typically read a manga book, and I know some people have pronounced it manga. I say manga, but I can usually read it within a day. I do work full time. If it was a weekend, I could finish it within a day, but since it's a work week or a week work night, it took me a couple days. But the book that I chose is Tokyo Ghoul. So here is a closer shot for you to be able to read it. The art is really cool. So what this is about, and it's part of a series, is about Ken Kaneki. Is just a typical freshman college student. He loves reading, which I think is really cool. I love protagonists who love to read. And he has a crush on this girl that he wants to ask out on a date. His friend Hide encourages him to. So actually the girl asked him out because they related to this book that they like. They have like the same author and book, and they're currently reading the same one. So that's a little red flag because that doesn't usually happen. But they go on a date and it goes well. At the end of the date, the girl asks him to walk her home, and Ken does that. Unfortunately, this girl is a ghoul. So backtrack. What are ghouls? They basically look like humans, except the way they stay alive is eating humans. And in this setting, right now, there has been some not quite ghoul sightings, but deaths caused by ghouls. But they know exactly what the cause is. They know that it's a ghoul just because how frequent it is. So the girl that Ken goes on a date with is a ghoul, and she tries to eat him. But in the process, an accident happens, killing the ghoul and nearly killing Ken. So at the doctors or the hospital, really, they try to call the girl's family, not knowing that she was a ghoul. And unable to get permission to transplant her organs, they do it anyway. Now I work in healthcare. This is a big no-no. Usually you just let the patient die, unfortunately, because you need to get consent from adults. However, it's just, there's a lot of ethics and rules to this. But anyway, so they transplant the ghoul's organs to Ken because he's going through organ failure. And he doesn't know that she was a ghoul he didn't know what the side effects of being a ghoul or being half ghoul will be. So by the end of the operation with these organs, he looks like a human for the most part, but he has cravings like a ghoul. He can't eat any normal human food. His taste has been changed and altered, so all human food tastes disgusting to him, and he has no appetite. It makes him throw up because he can't metabolize it. So he starts craving human food, or just humans. Food is food for him, and he needs to learn how to go through life as this new half human, half ghoul, and he's very conflicted, very trapped, very depressed about it. But he gets some help along the way, and it will be interesting to keep reading these books to see how he fares in this new world of his. But he does get some help, but very good book. It ends with him getting help from another ghoul, and they want him to understand the life of a ghoul more better, because they want this human to realize how hard it is to be a ghoul, and that they should have some sympathy as opposed to hate from humans. And as a human, they want him to learn. But I thought it was a really quick book. I love manga. It's a very short read, so as you can tell. And of course, there's graphics into it, so it makes it seem like it's a TV series, like you're just watching it. If this is your first manga book, first time reading, it is not like a typical book like Americans read left to right. If you were to do that right now, you would be looking at the back. Instead, you want to go to where that graphic art is for the front, and you're going to have that spine to your right, and you're going to read. Here, I'm going to give a good example. Right to left. So instead of the typical way that you might be used to, that goes left to right, and you're going left page to right page, you're going to right page, right to left page, right to left. So if this is your first time, that's how you read a manga book. If you're not a first timer and you know what you're talking about, you say, shut up, I know what to do. All is well, but this was a very good book. It is a series, so if you love it as much as I do, you might read it or just watch the TV series. I'm not sure what streaming service it's on, but I know Crunchyroll has a lot of anime, so check that out first. If you don't find it, Netflix, Hulu, HBO, I don't know if they have many anime shows. So anime is the TV version, manga is the book version. But anyway, Tokyo Ghoul, very good book so far. I hope to continue reading, and I hope you do too. So I'm going to end this here. If you want to listen to more of my podcasts, I have a podcast called Lexi's Book Nook. That is LEXIES Book Nook, and that's on Spotify. If you want to get a paid subscription so you can see my book nook, see my face, see the cover art, it is $3 per month, and you get inspiration on your own book nook. I have a lot of wall space, and you can see the kitchen in the back, but you can also see my book nook, and it's color coordinated, so it looks very nice. So that is on Patreon for $3 per month, and YouTube as well. And then check out my actual podcast, Lexi's Book Nook. I post 2 times a month. Beginning of the month is a review of the books I'll be reading. There'll be book club picks and recommendations, Reese Witherspoon's book club recommendations, and books on my TBR list, while trying to stay in theme for the month. So for February, you can tell it's going to be a lot of romance. But check out my podcast on Spotify, and I hope you guys keep reading.